Okay, so I'm still sick, but just try to bear with me. Besides a few lore drops here and there so far, you should know by now that I love Pokemon. There's really nothing like it. Okay, never mind, but I never fell in love with these other monster catching games like Digimon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And that's coming from an actual Yu-Gi-Oh! Fan. But as this is the first Pokemon episode of the show, I want to make it special. So let's talk about my favorite Pokemon game, or should I say games that I've played.
It's a first step into Unova, a region like no other, a place where the seasons change, and there's a new adventure at every turn. You can discover over 150 never-before-seen Pokémon as you explore the all-new Unova region.
My name is Fusion, and Pokemon Black and White is my favorite generation. For a lot of fans, Pokemon Black and White were controversial when they launched. People complained about the new Pokemon designs, the region felt unfamiliar, and the tone was way darker than usual. Mainly because instead of playing as a child, you can play as someone who's actually old enough to date, evidence being you can actually date in the game, for some reason. But looking back now, the games might actually be some of the boldest entries in the series, in my opinion. The world design peaked here. The moving sprites of the Pokemon bring me so much nostalgia. Oh my god, what did they do to you? By the way, the starter that I picked? Oh yeah, it's Tepig for life. The other starters are great too, design-wise. No, okay, maybe besides you. Team Plasma actually has a really good question in these games. Is it actually right to capture Pokemon and make them battle? Villain teams now have resorted to actual jokes like Team Yell and Star. But in my opinion, Flare was the last good one. Yeah, I said it. I said that. What does Team Skull do? What do they do? Tell me. Yeah, that's what I thought. Team Plasma's core believes that Pokemon should be liberated from humans. This directly questions the foundation of Pokemon itself. Like, should we actually be capturing Pokemon and making them fight? I found this really funny in Legends Arceus because what do you mean we just found out what Pokemon were? And we're already making them fight each other. This raises a good point, however. Should we honestly be trapping Pokemon in Pokeballs and just make them fight each other? I mean, if you take their arguments at face value, they kinda have a good point. Looking more deeply into their worldview, however, their entire argument just kinda starts to fall apart. Team Rocket treats Pokemon like shit, but that doesn't mean society just accepts that. Same with Team Plasma. Like, the only people who genuinely mistreat them and don't form bonds over them are the evil teams. Like, they battle for us, we give them a home, we take care of them, they take care of us. Like, they're not miserable. If anything, the only problem with this relationship is when the empathy is taken too far. Looking at you, Team Magma, Team Aqua. And the music. Oh my god, don't even get me started on the music in this game. Every track in this game is just pure ear candy, and I would say this is where Pokemon music peaked, but ZA just came out with some bangers. This was the game that actually got me into Pokemon, believe it or not. All my friends started in X and Y, but me? I've been here. Even though I played these games after X and Y came out. When my cousin lent me his 2DS and gave me the Pokemon Black version, I just fell in love. This also got me into the trading card game, and I would consider myself to be a pretty good collector. Or formal collector. Come on guys, I'm a grown man. Unlike Jaden over here who spent God knows how much money on a single Pokemon card. We cannot be serious. Back in high school, Jay and I went to Shelby's, amazing place by the way, to get lunch almost every day, and right next to it was a card shop, and he would always waste his money on it. You know, one day, you got a booster pack, and you pull like a God knows how much it's worth now Giovanni's Mewtwo card. Wait, what was I talking about again? Oh yeah, Pokemon Black and White. Anyway, this game has made me into the Pokemon fan that it is, so saying Unova's my favorite region may be slightly biased, but it's my show, not yours, so fuck you. I think that the reason people didn't like these games' concept was because the only Pokemon you could catch were the ones introduced in this generation, before the Pokemon at least. I like this temporary change as it made me really experiment with my team. Here's some few Unovian Pokemon I absolutely love design-wise. Ranunculus' dex entry says its arms are made of a special liquid. They use psychic powers to control these arms and crush boulders. I absolutely love this Lotus line. Not only is he well designed, but he's actually a great Pokemon overall. His ability Magic Guard only makes him take damage from direct attacks. No poison, burns, dense storm, stealth rock, spikes, or anything like that. He also knows some of my favorite moves like Focus Blast and Shadow Ball. Yeah, okay, I play Ubers a lot, could you tell? Excadrill is another one of my favorites. More than 300 feet below the surface, they build maze-like nests. Their activity can be destructive to subway tunnels. Moldbreaker is the best ability he has by far, and it's one of my favorite abilities in general. Oh my god, I just had a scary thought. Could you imagine if Z had abilities and you slept a Mega Excadrill in an online rake match with Earthquake? That would be terrible. Golurk, man, I love this guy so much. It is said that Golurk were ordered to protect people and Pokemon by the ancient people who made them. I'm so glad to see my favorite Pokemon got Megas in Mega Dimension. It just warms my heart. Scolipede is a pretty unpopular pick, and oh, would you look at that? Chandelure is an obvious pick from this generation. It absorbs a spirit, which then it burns by waving flames on its arms, and puts its foes into a hypnotic trance. Plus, its moveset is really solid, and oh, would you look at that? Damn, she even got her own character too, what the hell? Zoroark and Gigalith and Hydreigon are all amazing picks and all have amazing moves. Contour is a mod that people hate way too much. Like, look at this man. Drain Punch and Close Combat? Where do I sign up? I'm not sure if I'm a fan of the Weather Trio because they always show up on Pokemon Go raids when I don't want them to, and it made me hate their fucking guts, but who knows? I might just be projecting. Also, how can I forget the GOAT Emboar? And by the way, Unova has the best Pokédex. Fight me. The towns and cities in Pokemon Black and White are cool because they actually feel like places with purpose, and not just pit stops between gyms. Cough, cough. Nova feels alive and modern and culturally distinct. In a way, earlier regions like Johto and Kanto didn't quite hit. I especially love what they did with the Cam here to make these cities feel bigger than they actually are. Especially Driftville City looks more like a factory than a town. And it's also my favorite track in the game. Is what I would say if I was basic. Listen, I love Driftville City, but if I had to pick my favorite track in the game, it's this. Nacrene City is beautiful in every way, and it's a pretty important place, as we revive fossils here. The Nacrene Museum, being the city's main centerpiece, is proof of that. But I gushed about the music enough. The story this time around is honestly as linear and straightforward as it's ever been so far. The game takes place in the Unova region, loosely based off of New York City. I think Game Freak looked at this region in a way to incorporate other parts viewers into the game. America is a very diverse place. Or, so I've heard. I don't know guys, I'm Canadian. And yes, I do live in an igloo. But the US is home to many cultures and beliefs, so making a whole game based off of one city? Who would do that? Okay, never mind. I think the Unova region is based off purely America, and is by far the nicest looking region ever. Okay, how many times are they going to use this joke? Seriously. I'm definitely getting hate comments for that. The cities feel alive too, streets filled with pedestrians who are actually going somewhere instead of standing in one place. 3D environments, kinda, and so much more. Something I love about... Oh, I tapped out of the script. Something I love about the story is that Team Plasma as a threat is so serious, and the gym battles genuinely seem like an afterthought. The game starts, you're in your room, in Nova Town, and your mom sends you downstairs. Professor Juniper is there with their childhood friends. God, the characters in this game make me even love it more. Sharon, my favorite of the bunch, is obsessed with getting stronger and becoming champion. Early on, he treats Pokemon like tools for improvement, which gaslights us into thinking that Team Plasma is actually in the right. However, then he grows to love his partners. Bianca starts out insecure, clumsy, and unsure if she's cut out for this. Everyone just keeps telling her she can't do it. In the end, well, yeah, she can't. She chooses to help Professor Juniper in support others in the lab, not competing with them. Oh my god, guys. I ran out of tissues. I don't know how much longer I can last. If I'm not better by next episode, I don't know, guys. I might just die. N was raised in isolation, surrounded by abused Pokemon. And that's why Team Plasma's goals sounded so believable. He truly believes human and Pokemon should be together. And to a certain extent, he may be right, but he was clearly brainwashed. Their designs are so cool, and what N reveals about himself to be leader Team Plasma is just, oh, I just got goosebumps. Or at least 5-year-old me did. The ending is also unlike anything we've ever seen for Pokemon, besides Sword and Shield. After the big plot twist that N is bad, blah blah blah, he explains that the world needs to be fixed, and this is indeed the true leader of Team Plasma. Even though they clearly brainwashed him with propaganda, the main takeaway I get from the whole end of the world plotline, instead of the previous generation's Elite Four and beat the game, is that while N represents the ideology of Team Plasma, we represent the truth. Pokemon are happy. My team is happy. Team Plasma trying to sell you a problem and conflict, which in reality never existed in the first place. I think the message of the game is that propaganda is a powerful tool. We should come to accept each other, even though we may not even like or tolerate each other at first. Words have meaning. Well, that was Pokemon Black and White. God, I will forever love these games and know what can change my mind. The art style, the gameplay, the animation, God, it's just so perfect. Anyway, I wasted enough of your time. My name is Fusion, and Pokemon Black and White is my favorite generation. Thanks for watching. Okay, I'm sorry, I have a confession to make. I never played Pokemon Black and White 2. I'm sorry. They're probably better, and I love Black and White, so why haven't I played the sequels? I don't know, but we'll cover that another day. So, yeah. I kind of already did the outro. So, you can go now. Bye.
Oh, fuck my phone. Oh,
Nutcracker.